All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Rick Berube here. We are very fortunate today from the lovely state of California, from our Yorba Linda office, real estate extraordinaire, Sharlene Ramsingh. Welcome to the show. And there's the studio audience, Sharlene.
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Hi,
Well,
good morning.
good morning. Tell everybody a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, maybe a couple little fun details since you've
Yeah,
been doing this job.
yeah. Well, I got my license way back in 2007, which a lot of people don't know that about me. I worked for a couple of years, and then the market was different back then, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
went out and I got I got a real job, or a more stable job, and then I got married, had kids, and all those wonderful, beautiful things. And then, I got my license because we have a rental property in Newport. So just for tax purposes, I went out and I got my license again, and I was kind of doing Airbnbs and just managing the rentals. And then, yeah, I called one of my friends who was a realtor out there in Newport, and she still is, and she was a mom, and like her and I clicked, and she was talking about real estate. And after I hung up the phone with her, I just had this like strong feeling, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to go back in the business. So yeah, I talked to my husband, and he was like full on board and supportive. And the kids were old enough now where it's like, they don't really need mom anymore, every day, all day.
As
So yeah,
much.
so I as much, right? I should say as much. And mom was ready to like, go have her life again. And so, yeah, so then I came back in the business, and I've been here at this office for 2 years now. It'll be 2 years, November 4th. So
2 years.
approaching my 2 year. Yep.
And you're
So,
rocking and rolling. I think we should tell. I think you should tell them about your first transaction that you had when you came back last year, just to show them how committed
oh,
and you got it
yeah,
done. Give them some of those details.
I did. So the first transaction, well, I was calling. So I love to call just because I feel like it's a numbers game in a lot of ways. And, calling was effective for me. So I just was calling, and, I left a voicemail because I always leave voicemails for people that don't answer. And she calls me back, and she's like, oh, that's so funny you called, because I was going to look for a realtor tomorrow. My brother, who's in prison in Arizona, who is getting foreclosed on in his house, who has squatters there, we need to sell it ASAP. So I was obviously up for the job, and I said, well, sure, I could sell it. So yeah, so that was my first, transaction back, which was a prisoner in Arizona. And it
And
was
you got it
interesting.
closed
And
in California.
we got it closed in California, and it was being foreclosed on, and there was liens on it, and there were squatters, and there was investors who didn't uphold their end of the contract like 5 days before closing. Like everything and anything could happen.
Went
Happen
wrong.
in this country.
Negotiating with
Yes.
the warden. No, I'm kidding. When
Yeah.
he gets
Well,
out
the
of
funny thing,
jail,
I don't know. I had to talk to the warden a few times, and getting it notarized was a huge issue because of California, Arizona state laws. It was just, it was, but I had a realtor tell me that was your initiation,
yeah,
to see if you could handle this business.
right, yeah, and you passed with flying colors.
Yes. So yeah, no, I was thankful, and I still talk to this sister. I mean, her and I became friends. She's a wonderful woman. So not so
And
much the prisoner though.
no, not, I was going to say, but when he gets out of jail and he sees that you
Oh
saved his
God.
credit score, he's going to love you. And he got money too.
Yeah, yeah, I think about that too. I'm like, okay, we'll see.
That just goes to
There's still
show.
some more time for that.
Yeah, that goes to show that if you can come back into the business full time and have that be your first transaction and close it, you can definitely handle this job.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't the most glamorous listing, but it taught me a lot. So, and this, and whoever's watching knows this, like every transaction, I don't care how long you feel like you're confident, every transaction's so different, you know.
So
So,
true.
and there's always something to learn.
So true.
So,
And
yeah, so that was my first.
Didn't you just take a big listing too short recently?
I did, yes. That was, I have a listing, it's 3.250 in Chino Hills. And that was from a call too. And it was from a voicemail. Same thing like my other one. I left a voicemail and she called me back. And it was actually the wrong number. It wasn't even, I was calling in Anaheim and she lived in Chino Hills. So yeah, but she needed to sell her house. So I'm a big believer in calling.
That's that's such a great lesson. I could give example after example too of calling the wrong phone number, but then still doing business. So I agree too. Leaving messages, quick messages to call you back. So tell them. So you got back in the business and you got out of the gates really hot in a really competitive market, right? Tell them. Give an idea of you mentioned I love calling. I love call. Give an idea of what you do to secure business, please.
Yeah, so I call circle prospecting. I try to set it up every day. So, in addition to, being real estate, I'm a mom and my daughter, we homeschool her. So, days that I'm not working at home, I come into the office. So it's kind of, my schedule is very flexible, to say that. But I try to always keep with my calling every day. So I circle prospect, which is basically just, for sales, just sold in the area, and then also expireds too. So, it took me 7 months to get my first deal, and after that, I was like, oh my God, is this like this how long it's going to take for the next one? But it wasn't. So it was like kind of, I think just the momentum of it. And I think maybe just feeling comfortable on the phone and my tone and all those things. So now it's, it doesn't take as long now, but that first initial one took a while.
Right.
So just throwing that out there because I want people to know, like with calling, because some people think, oh, well, I didn't get it in a month. It doesn't work. It's not for me. But like, you have to stick with it. It's one of those things where it really does. It's a skill and it just comes with a lot of failure.
It's part of the equation, failure, isn't it?
It is. It is. And yeah, and that's what, and that's the part that it's always uncomfortable, but you just keep going, it's okay. The next.
Right. And my theory with that is, when people complain after a couple months, I always tell them, you don't qualify to complain yet. You just started. Right. And then you go 7 months and then you have a closing and that affects your confidence level the next time you're on the phone. Right. And that, I think the confidence level is what helps you speed up the process the next few times, the next few deals you did.
Right. Yes. Yeah, no, it does. It does. Once you start, the momentum, the confidence, you understand exactly just the transaction and how it looks. And then you're kind of off to the races sort of thing. So, yeah. So I just, I always just try to be consistent with my calls. That's just my thing. I love to call. And honestly, like, yeah, you get those people where they're like, don't ever call me again, whatever. But most people are decent and a lot of people are nice. And I've met like so many great people on the phones. So the ones that don't want to sell like right now, I just, I take their information, their email, and I ask them and they usually give it to me because there's a connection. And then I put them in my database and then, and I've had people that have been in my database call me and say, okay, I'm ready to go, because they get my biweekly emails. So.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of the way I've been doing it.
Yeah, it becomes more comfortable. You get more confident. You get better results, right? And then you load them up in the VAC. Now, what do you send them out of the VAC for drips? Neighborhood report, or do you use?
Yeah, I do the VAC for like holidays and yeah, so neighborhood reports. But I also do like constant contact just because I want to do something that's like me, just giving them an update of what's happening currently in the market, just in my own words kind of thing. Because I just feel like, the authenticity of it, I feel like that relates well to people. But now that I know that we're getting the new system, I think you can send through video.
You can.
So ideally, that's for me, that's kind of the next level is to send it with video,
Right.
because now it's just not words. Now it's actual, oh, there she is. Oh my God, I was on the phone with her. Oh, there she, you know what I mean? And there's more of a quicker connection there.
Right.
So yeah, you gotta keep pushing yourself in this
Well,
business.
you're a people person. I said, yeah, well, I agree with you 100%. You have a very unique personality where, you like to be challenged and you like to push it, and which is really helpful if you're going to be prospecting proactively, whether it be door knocking or on the phone, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, I realized quick. I mean, I'm to the age now where I know that fear, it's like you just got to push past that stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't shy away from it. Because if you do, it'll control you. You know what I mean? And
Right.
you won't do the calls, and you won't door knock, and you won't do all these things, and you'll just stay very comfortable. And I don't know. I just don't want to live my life like that.
I don't blame you. I don't think you're fearful anymore, especially since I saw what was it, Selena and Deion Sanders yesterday for Halloween.
Prime time and
That be you?
Selena's. Yes, Selena's. I was Selena's for Halloween. I loved it. That's my secret passion, is singing. I love to sing. Me and my daughter, we just that's what we do all day. When we're home and we want to mess around, we'll put on music and we'll just sing.
Do you like karaoke?
Yeah.
Do you have a karaoke machine at home?
Oh my God. Yes, I do. I love karaoke, actually. I'm a huge karaoke performer. I like the performance aspect of it, not just the singing, because my voice is okay. But the performance, I think, is...
The performance is probably the most important, right? Look at J-Lo and Britney Spears and all those people.
Right.
They have decent voices, but people love to watch them.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So give somebody, so somebody who's, let's face it, the market has changed a little bit, it's steady, but inventory's tight, especially where you are. I mean, Yorba Linda has 50 homes on the market, maybe 60, something crazy like that.
Right. Yep.
So if I want to, if I want to capitalize on this type of market and be comfortable being proactive, what would be some tips you would give them to be comfortable, whether it be on the phone or face to face?
Right. I would say there's people buying and selling every day. So no matter what the market looks like, there's always somebody that has to buy and has to sell. So just ignore it. I don't even pay attention to it. You know what I mean? I just keep my head down and just go to work. And find something you enjoy doing, that pushes you a little bit, that gets you outside of your comfort zone. So I would say for sure, and then be consistent with it. So find what it is that you enjoy doing, that you feel like you can do it daily, be consistent, and get yourself a good mentor or person around you that you can call or talk to or just bounce ideas off of. Larry's fantastic. I can call him all times of the day and he always answers. But I also have another realtor that I kind of go to as well, just to get feedback, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you just need that when you're in negotiations, and it's such a delicate, interpersonal business. And that stuff you can't really teach, but it's nice to be able to kind of talk about those little nuances in the transaction. Right. So I would say those three things are probably the most important. So find something you love to do as far as prospecting that's not comfortable. Just push yourself.
No, I love that.
And then just do it consistently. Yeah, and then because eventually you're going to get to that point where you're going to feel comfortable now, I didn't want to call expireds, but now I'm like, okay, cool, let's call some expireds today, The next level for me would be calling for sale by owners, okay, now I'm kind of leveling up to the next level. So yeah, so just always keep pushing yourself and enjoy it, and don't be scared to make mistakes, because it's, we're human.
Right. And the same thing goes with your social media. You make mistakes, you keep talking, do videos. I love what you said, Sharlene, too, about not a lot of people, and I don't know why this is, because it's so important to life, health, mental health. Right. Get outside your comfort zone at least a few times a week. like you said, you were good at, you started off with circle prospecting around listings and sales. Took you a few months to get your first deal, but you did. Then you went on to expireds, new and old. That's how you got that big one, was an old expired, right? I mean, and didn't you get one that was like 1.5 million that was an old expired too, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, I've had a few expireds. Yeah, and I probably will have another one coming up. So, yeah, no, I mean, there's business there. You know what I mean? Like, there's always business there. You just got to go get it.
You just got to be willing. Exactly right. It's not going, hey, you know what? Let's call Sharlene today. No, you have to find them, fill a pipeline, load a CRM. The Virtual Agent Center is so good at doing that. I'm so glad you're using those tools too. And I agree. You have a dynamite manager. Larry's great, and bounce things off him for sure. You've been in my coaching for 2 years now? So, people out there, if you need to get in my coaching, join my coaching, right? It's pretty cost effective too, my coaching, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, first of all, it's free.
Oh my God, it's free. If it's free, how bad could I be?
You have to do it if you're new, because you need feedback from other agents of what's working, and you just need to hear that because if the first transaction almost feels like so far away, and you don't know, is it for me? Is it going to be for me? And that's when you just got to surround yourself with people that are doing it and are successful. And then you see, well, shoot, if they can do it, why can't I do it? You know what I mean? And you can, everybody can. There's nobody who can't. What stops you is telling yourself, oh, the market's bad, or, all these reasons why, and not doing the work, really, just not doing the work because you're scared, or you're, I don't know, excuses.
Right. And we all know we have those agents or friends like your friend, and we talk to them and we know they're doing business and doing well in the real estate business. And we think, God, if that person can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. And she's like very successful, and she's just very authentic. She is who she is. You know what I mean? And I think people feel that, and they want to work with people who are comfortable in their own skin. So yeah, no, it's good. I love this business. I think it fits my personality,
Oh, definitely.
And yeah. And I just love helping people, and it's very fulfilling too, when you're in the transaction, things come up and people have stories, and there's always a story there. And it's a very fulfilling kind of way of you feel like you're doing your part in the world. So yeah, no, I love it.
Was it tough for you though to come out of your shell because you're so shy and you're reserved? Was it tough?
I am very shy at times. No, not at all. You get to a point where you just don't, it doesn't matter,
right?
Like they're going to like you or they're not going to like you, and you just keep going,
Yeah. And what really helps with that, is when you start prospecting for a few months, pretty soon you realize I can either help them or I can't. And the ones that I can't say all kinds of crazy things, but it doesn't matter because I'm looking for the ones who I can help, and they talk totally different to you when they're on the other. Like a wrong phone number appreciates what you're doing, being proactive. He goes, hey, but I have this house over here, right? That's the kind of, and when you're talking to the right person, that happens all the time.
Yeah. And I think what you just said right now, people appreciate it. So so your client, your future clients, they'll see you calling not as a negative. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh God, what do you want? You're a scammer. No, they're going to respect it. And they're going to see like, oh, look at this person, they're out here making things happen. They're, running their business. So those are the people that you want to do business with. And those are the people that are going to gravitate to you. And yeah, the other ones, that's fine because those aren't your clients anyway. So I suggest everybody call for at least 6 months.
Right. And then you'll get used to it. It'll be a habit, and you'll want to keep calling because you see the amount of everything that you've done since you've been back in the business. You've manufactured yourself, which is impressive.
Yeah, thanks. It's just one of those things, and it works with my schedule. I have kids, so I can call from home, and it's just if it's raining, you can call. You know what I mean? Like you can always call. So So yeah, and I use Espresso Agent too. That's the dialer, and then I have their dialer. So I used to use Vulcan 7, but they're a little bit pricey. And I
Yeah.
think that's better if you have two people because they offer an extra line.
Right.
So, and I think it's like in the 300s. But yeah, Espresso Agent it's basically the same company, but $100 cheaper.
Right. So the
So, yeah,
less expensive version, which is fine. As long as you're consistent using it, it'll pay for itself times a lot.
just be consistent. Like that saying, consistency is key. I feel like I should put it in my office that, that the picture of it because it's so true. Like you just have to be consistent. You really do.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Well, Sharlene, I just want to say thank you very much for taking your time out today. This was awesome.
Thanks for having me.
I'm sure people got a bunch of nuggets out of it, which is great. So thank you very much. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Welcome.
Everybody else will do this again soon. Thank you, Sharlene. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye, Rick.
Bye. Have a great day.